What up, what up, Gringo gang, man? We back in the building, man. You know, I've been gone for a couple of days. I apologize. It's been about 5 days since I dropped the last video, but, you know, we've been having to make some moves, make some things happen. So, you know, we back up in this motherfucker, man. But it is the last day or last couple of days of Black History Month. So, speaking of Black History, we got to go ahead and finish up this Biggie versus Pac conversation. So we got to finish this video, man, so y'all can tell me who won. You dig what I'm saying? They're about to get down to a verdict. This is taking place, I think, over on the West Coast. So they about to give us their verdict at the end of this video of who is the best artist or the better artist, Tupac or Biggie. So let's finish it up, man. Part 2.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. That's the intro.
Right out the gate, Pac coming for your neck right out the gate. Let's go.
That's before the bum, 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 bum. Before that happens, hold up. My kid is in the car. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. He don't even hold nuptials. Sacred. You in front of.
So as you can see, we still on the personal attacks. We still ain't focusing on just the pure artistry. We got to get down to who was just a pure better rapper. But you know, we asking, this is a comedian debate. We asking comedians who the best rappers are. So this ain't really their specialty. So you know, they gotta make us laugh and pull out the personal stuff. But let's see if they get more into the rap skills after they finish cracking the jokes, and see if they get close to making the right decision.
Friends, family, and God to be together, and you said, fuck your vow. Here's this dick. Is this your king? Yeah. Got a lot of roles, got a lot of money. The point I'm trying to make is you knew who Big was. It was no duality with it. He was a rapper. He's from Brooklyn. He sold drugs. He became a rapper to change his life. Go. 2 albums. Goated after 2 albums? Now, I would give Pac his credit too, because Pac was the first hip-hop artist that ever dropped a double hip-hop album. He did that.
More.
Damn.
Okay, so he said Biggie should be classified as one of the GOATs because he only dropped 2 albums, and he's already in the conversation because he dropped only after dropping 2 albums, he still made it in the conversation, whereas Pac dropped like 11 or something like that. So, you know, I understand where you could feel that.
You brought up the albums. Pac had 11 studio albums. Biggie only had 2, as you said.
Yeah.
Is that enough of a catalog to even compare Pac?
I think we had people aware of the East Coast, West Coast beef that weren't even in the United States. These 2 black men, with their rapping ability and their influence, made an entire country split into 2 cities, basically. Not even coasts, cities.
That's a good point. You know, between the 2 of them, they made the whole world country split into picking East Coast versus West Coast. But that lends to the question of, was it so much that they were great rappers, or was it just the appeal of rap beef that got everybody so invested in it? Because you could say it would have to be how great they are as rappers, because plenty of rappers get into beefs, so I'm sure they didn't have the only beef in the time period or whatever, but they beef grabbed so much attention of the world. Was it because of how great they were, or was it because of how great they were and the fact that they was beefing? Was it more leaning towards the people excited to see how the beef gonna play out, or was it more of, oh my gosh, the greatest rappers in the world are having problems? Which one do you think it is, man?
I think that right there puts him in a category to be a GOAT. We ain't even got to get to the lyrical ability. This black man was that powerful. And we ain't even got to get to the lyrical ability. This black man was that powerful. And one of those black men earned that spot after 2 albums.
So what y'all think about that, man? Do y'all think it's more impressive that Biggie is in this conversation after 2 albums than just Pac being in the conversation, do y'all think that's more impressive? Me personally, I don't too much think it's that impressive as impressive as, it sounds, because he may have only had 2 albums, but he was featuring with all types of artists and he was cool with Pac. So even if he didn't have as much music, he would get some of Pac's shine just off of them being cool at one point. Even if nobody knew who Biggie was, people would find out who he was from him being around Pac. If it was about who had more music, more people would know Tupac, but they still get to know him because they were homies. So that's one thing. And then on top of that, I don't really think his albums were that pivotal. Like, they're not regarded to as like a Illmatic or a Take Care or anything like that. Like, neither one of his albums is just mentioned by name all the time in greatest album conversations and shit like that. All Eyes on Me is mentioned quite often, so I don't know. I can't say that just because his album, he only had 2 albums and he had this type of influence, that don't mean he was just the greatest rapper ever, because I don't hear people still just speaking of his albums as if they're like holy grails of hip hop and stuff like that. I'm not really hearing that like that. So I can't say that the 2 album versus 11 album thing would make him better than Pac, because I don't really hear too much. I don't hear neither one of his albums being like just changing the game with any one of those albums. They were good, but neither one of them just took the world by storm or anything to where people are still talking about him to this day. It's not really like that. It's more of his complete landscape as an artist. His features, his collaborations, and his albums combined would make him great. But the album part ain't really just his strong suit, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Y'all let me know.
Hit 'Em Up was a good diss record, or was it just a bunch of mean shit over a beat?
He's speaking truth. Art, image.
First of all, what kind of question is that? Is it a good diss record or a bunch of mean shit over a beat? First of all, it's supposed to be a bunch of mean shit. It's not supposed to be no motherfucking beautiful piece of poetry. Like, a diss record is supposed to be a bunch of mean shit over a beat. And secondly, that's what makes a good diss record, is how mean you can get over a beat. I don't understand what this question means. Maybe y'all have a different understanding of the question. Y'all fill me in, let me know, man.
Taste of life. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. Biggie did think he was a player. He wore Versace. He talked about giving women one more chance.
Hold on. My bad, gang. We back. Okay, let's get back to the program.
Actually makes us smarter. The reason that this society has progressed to where it's at now is because of competition for resources. People had to be very crafty and plot and plan in order to survive. And this is just a part of everything we do in life. This isn't, competition isn't a rap thing. It's a human thing.
The view, you can answer this. Could you talk about the impact of your artists, what they did for other artists, who they brought into the game, who they helped elevate? Could you?
All right, so before we get to this part, I guess he was saying that no matter how you look at Hit 'Em Up, it was just a part of self-preservation, meaning that if Pac felt like he had to defend himself, no matter how disrespectful the bars were, or no matter how crazy the diss track was, he just gonna make the diss track, period, because it's part of defending yourself, going back and forth. It's a human condition to defend yourself, blah, blah, blah. I guess so. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I probably wouldn't went that deep, but I agree with that. Yeah.
Really? The Outlaws. There's 50 niggas in Outlaws.
Name them.
There's too many.
Name
I can't name one outlaw. I ain't gonna lie to you.
the album.
There's too many.
No.
Tretch out a lot. Tretch should have been irrelevant 29 years ago.
Shout out Tretch. I don't know none of his songs either, but I know he was on some Pac songs. Shout out to him.
But because of Tupac and his association with Pac, Tretch is relevant to this day. Sometimes and that's the titles
I don't know who he relevant to, but let's move on.
of the song. If we run their top 19 songs and we go title for title, this shows you why Tupac is a better artist, because he understood how to catch you with the hook. He would catch people with a positive hook. California Love, Biggie.
Okay, so Craig is the first one to get back into the hip hop aspect of who better. So he said Pac had better song titles. Y'all agree? Do y'all think that Pac's song titles captured you more? I don't think nobody ever really paid attention to the song titles. I think the songs was just jamming. So it was really the music that got people rather than the title. But I see what he's saying.
He bit that formula with Going Back to Cali. Then we have Dear Mama. Then Biggie kind of stayed in those same sentiments with Miss You. Then we see the formula here. Biggie was actually mimicking Pac's formula and a lot of stuff he did, from the way.
Alright, so y'all who, a little bit more on game than me, what y'all think about that? Y'all think Biggie was copycatting Pac on the drops? Y'all think he was naming his songs similar to his, try to bring the attention his way? What y'all think? I never heard of that, but it's interesting. It's interesting evidence he brought up.
He dressed, to the way he titled his songs, to even not being strong enough not to respond. I feel like passive aggressive. Pac said Biggie's name several times. Biggie never said anything with Tupac's name in it.
So he did say Tupac name on Brooklyn's Finest with Jay-Z.
Okay.
That is evidence.
If they have kids, he probably have Tupac. Get it? Tupac? Wow.
Aggressive. How about fuck you, Tupac? Wow. How about I fucked your wife, Tupac?
Wow.
Get what?
So should Biggie have been more aggressive to Pac, more blatant when he was responding to Pac, or stating his issues with Pac in the music? Do you think he should have been more aggressive, more blatant? I don't think that takes away from an artist either. Some people use subliminal messages and whatnot to talk about who they talking about. You kind of got to be a little more creative anyway to be subliminal, so that don't take away from it either. I definitely like Pac's upfront attitude to it, but even if you do it in a subliminal way, it don't. I think both of them is dope. I can admire either style. What y'all think, man?
Nigga, I don't like you. Say that. My girlfriend. Me and My Bitch by Biggie. Why is this nigga biting my style? I'm pretty sure Pac was looking in the mirror like, he does everything I do. This is narcissistic mirroring. This is
It's a good song. Not only did he give us Junior Mafia, but he also gave us Lil' Kim, arguably one of the queens of hip hop at one point. How Biggie.
Lil' Kim is legendary. Beyond words, we can't even describe how legendary she is. Can we credit that to Biggie? I mean, Biggie was a big part of her career, a big part of collaborating with her, maybe inspiring her and teaching her the game, stuff like that. But do we credit that to Diddy, or do we credit that to Biggie? I don't really know if we can really credit that to Biggie, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Just because he was fucking on her, I don't really think that means that he's responsible for, putting her on or bringing her in the game. But I don't know. I could be wrong. They did a lot of music together, but I don't know if that counts as the same thing.
Didn't respond. You basically made him seem like he was docile. He was afraid to speak. But how Biggie didn't respond. You basically made him seem like he was docile. He was afraid to speak. But you are the company that you keep. Executive producer, trying to be all in the videos, all on the records, dancing, come to death row.
Now here's my question to all my hip hop artists. Would you mind having a Diddy dancing all in your videos, stealing your shine, telling everybody to take that? Would you take a label producer, a label owner who does that? Would you sign to a person who does that if they was Diddy, or would you pass on that? I let him dance in the videos. He Diddy. He gonna keep everybody turned. I'm like, fuck it, dance. I want to see everybody dancing anyway, so I let him dance in the video. That won't stop me or make me go to death row. because he danced in the videos. I'm like, shit, nigga, that mean my shit turned, nigga.
It's gone. Puffy, however, who was telling Big to calm down and not to respond, is still alive. And unlike Suge Knight, not in jail.
Alright, so he was basically saying there that the people that Biggie kept himself around kept him alive longer and promoted him being more mature versus Tupac being around hot-headed people who was dangerous, stuff like that. And you know, he basically saying that all that combined made Biggie like a more mature person who would let the small stuff go and all that shit like that, which ain't got nothing to do with who's the better artist. But I'll say that's cool. That's more mature. You definitely right. You know, Biggie was kind of trying to squash shit a lot based on the things that I used to hear him say and all the footage I used to see. It seemed like Biggie was trying to squash it before Pac died, but yeah, that doesn't contribute to who's the better artist. You know what I mean? That's just personal shit.
Biggie had a song called 10 Crack Commandments. He was teaching niggas how to sell crack.
Hard imitates life.
Pac had a song called Against All Odds. So if your parents were on crack and you listen to that song, that could be something to make you try a little harder because the odds are against you.
All right, that's good. That's a slightly good point. What y'all think about that? Do y'all think, speaking about the drug life and gang life and all that shit to the kids, do y'all think that makes you a worse artist, or do you think that makes you better because you experience more stuff that's more relatable? Or do you guys think that speaking more uplifting on more uplifting topics makes you a better artist because you're trying to put everybody on a positive vibe? What y'all think? Me personally, I think it's not the artist's responsibility to control people's behavior. That's up to your mama and your daddy and all that. So all you're doing is telling your story or reflecting how you feel in your music, and it's meant to touch the people who it's meant to touch. All of the acting like we running for president off of the bars that we spitting, that's not really the purpose of rap. Rap is not meant for everybody to like you. It's meant for you to tell your story and it to relate to the people it's supposed to relate to. But what y'all think?
One, because the odds are against you. One man told you how to deal with the pressure. Another man taught you how to succumb to the pressure through materialism. So I was with as an artist. Do you want to side with somebody that's trying to help you? Or do you want to side with somebody that doesn't mind selling crack to your daughters and your cousins and your mother and probably even you?
You ain't got to buy the crack. It's a good song.
That's right. You do not have to buy the crack. That is why I say it's not the artist's responsibility to tell you to do the right thing, nigga. You don't have to buy the crack. You don't got to sell the crack. So I don't think that's really relevant. I think they still in personal blows, but let's keep it.
It was entertainment. It was an instructional that he used, but he wasn't telling you to do that. When you're an artist, you pull from real situations or you pull from your imagination. He was pulling from a real situation.
All right, so he pulling from a real situation. It's entertainment and all that. We got to kind of pull his card a little bit because doesn't that speak to the if you're entertaining people by telling them the 10 crack commandments, but you're not telling them to do that, isn't that duality? The same duality that he was saying that makes Tupac unrelatable, because we don't know who Tupac is from Tuesday to Wednesday, from Wednesday to Thursday. He two different niggas. We don't know who he is because one moment he's speaking positive and the next moment he's speaking negative. But then you say Biggie is telling you his story, but he's not telling you to do it. but at the same time, he's talking about the subject in a glorious manner to make it look cool or sound cool. At least sounds cool, because otherwise why would he have been doing it at the time? So it sounded cool, and it's gonna sound cool to some people. So doesn't that kind of, he rapping and he's not moving the drugs no more, so he not telling you to do it, but he used to do it. So don't that make him have some duality too? I don't know what y'all think, man. I think I'm catching some what they call it, some hypocriticism. I'm catching somebody being hypocritical. Let's keep it going, man.
Tell you is why Biggie was the better artist, and that was because he was just more relatable. There's too many layers. If I gotta go 16 layers.
Yeah, he's sticking with his Biggie is more relatable argument, but a lot of people can't relate to the crack commandments, and ain't a lot of people who can relate to selling crack, cooking crack, and all that. So his argument kind of getting a little weak right there for Biggie, but we're gonna keep it
To get down and know who you are, then who the fuck are you? But with Big, you knew who he was. He made music that made you have a good time. Yes, he had some deplorable lines. Yes, he had some deplorable tracks, everything. But overall, you knew who he was. He was
Being the best artist, raise your right hand.
All right, so they about to take the vote. Basically, he closed out the argument by saying that Biggie made music that make you want to have a good time, and he was more relatable. So now they're about to call the verdict based on all the people who were listening to the case. They about to tell you which one of these sides they're more drawn to based on the arguments. I have to say, once again, Tupac and Biggie, they're both legends in their own right. They're both GOATs, and we don't want to call one bigger or better than the other. You know, they both played their part and made their contributions to the game, and we appreciate them. But you asked me for my vote overall. I disagree with a lot of the arguments that were made during this case, but if you ask me personally, I got to go with Tupac as the better artist, because I just believe that when you speak of world change and you talk about the poor people's struggles at the same time, more than speaking on just yourself, and you try to speak for other people, I think that just opens you up to a broader audience, a broader influence over who you're reaching. Whereas it seemed like Biggie's message was kind of, he had the help and the hits, you know, from collabing with Diddy and having those particular beats that Diddy produced, and Diddy's energy of dancing helped his music. But if you left it all up to Biggie himself, I think all his music will sound kind of underground, and I don't think he would be able to touch as many people with his style of artistry. I do think he was very lyrical. He had skills with the pen, and it's very impressive to see a big boy rap the way that he did. He rapped like a skinny nigga. But I will say, as far as becoming an icon, becoming a mega star, I think Pac had more of the qualities than Biggie did. Biggie, you know, had a great pen, but I don't think Biggie had enough substance to connect with the whole world like Pac did. I think it's a little bit different. But much respect to all of them. But if you take my vote, and I'm not one of them on the fence type niggas, I'm gonna make a choice. I'm gonna pick one, and my pick would be Pac. So let's see what the final verdict is in this case. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.
And say aye. Thank you. All those in favor of Tupac being the better artist, raise your right hand and say aye. History has been made, a verdict has been rendered. It is hereby in this court that Biggie Smalls is the better artist. That is so ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so there we have it. Biggie Smalls.
We will end with 2 minutes of closing argument.
Biggie has been crowned as the better artist in the Tupac and Biggie conversation, man. What y'all think, dog? I honestly disagree. Y'all heard my stance, but man, y'all let me know, who do you guys think overall is the better artist between Tupac and Biggie? And did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Do you agree with me? Y'all let me know, man. We're gonna be coming back with these videos consistent, man. Like I said, man, I had to go handle some business, but we back in action, dog. So Gringo Gang, man, I appreciate y'all once again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go stream all the music, Emerald Amigo, on all platforms, man. And until next time, I'm out this bitch. You dig? Yes, sir, ski.